Hello lovely dancers, my name is Aisha and welcome back to Belly Dance Tutorials. Today we're gonna continue with the Introduction to Belly Dance series and we're gonna talk about the vertical circles. Today we're gonna continue learning the basic isolations and we're gonna do the circles, the vertical circles, and we'll focus on 3 body parts: shoulders, chest, and hips. I hope you watched my previous videos in this series, Introduction to Belly Dance, because they are designed to build up from one into the other, and they are designed to learn the body isolations in certain order so they are easier to execute in time. So now we're going to talk about the vertical circles and we're going to start with the shoulders because the shoulders are a lot of time overlooked in dancing and they add so much depth and interest and emotion to your dance. So try to incorporate that whenever you can. But first, let's go over the movement. So this is the vertical circle from front to back. These are ways of using it. Now let's break down the technique for this movement. We're going to think of a diamond pattern like we did with the horizontal circles. We have those 4 points in space. We're going to have the front, up, back, and down. Yes, front, up, back, and down. And we're going to move our shoulder toward those 4 points and we're trying to touch each of them. So don't skip any of them. So we're going to do front, up, back, and down. And we're going to smooth it out in a circle. Yeah? Front, up, back, down. Front, up, back, down. Pretty easy. Yeah? Let's try with the other one. Same idea. This is a circle from, I call it from front to back because it starts with the front movement, up, down, back and down. So it starts with the front movement, up, back and down. So it goes from front to back. Yeah? So that's why I call it a front to back circle, shoulder circle. Okay? When you smooth out the movement, make sure that you are touching all those 4 points in space. We are not skipping one of them. A lot of time people skip the upward movement or the forward movement. Make sure that you look in the mirror and make sure that you are doing a rolling motion and it's a complete circle. With the shoulders, it's not hard to do it. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So let's do it on music a few times and we'll add a little bit of stylization with our arms and body just to give you an idea of how to use this movement. Alright dancers, so let's get going with a shoulder roll or shoulder circle from front to back. In time you want to make it more flowy, more continuous from one shoulder to the other. One way to use it is to lower your stance. Yeah. One more time. You can have your arms a little bit more open. Yeah. All right. Now let's move on with the circle from back to front. It's the reverse motion. It goes from back, up, front, down. Back, up, front, down. It's a little bit more awkward and it's not as often used as the other direction. So I start with the back, up, front, down. back, up, front, down, back, up, front, down. When we put them together, it's gonna look like that. This is more jazzy, more dancey. It's not used as much in Oriental dance, but it does have some uses. A lot of time it's an action. A lot of time it's an accent. Tuck, tuck, tuck. The accent can be from front to back, or from back to front. Yeah. Tuck, tuck, or the other way. Tuck, tuck. But yeah, so that's probably one of the most common ways of using the back to front movement. But sometimes we're going to use it in some arm movements that we'll go over later on. It's more advanced arm movements. I'm going to show you. Kind of like that. There's a little bit more to it. But for now, we're just going to focus on the shoulder roll from back to front. Yeah. So let's put some music and let's practice the shoulder roll from front to back and back to front a few times. All right, so from back to front, back, up, front, down, back, up, front, down. Other one, back, up, front, down, back, up, front, down, and together. Yeah, and let's try again from front to back. And now from back to front. All right, now let's move on to the next part, to the chest area, and we're gonna do vertical circles with our rib cage. The vertical circles will be in the frontal plane, yeah, and same idea, we think about the 4 points in space, up, down, right and left, or side to side, up, down, side, side. And we want to move our chest or rib cage to these 4 points. I'm going to start from this direction to up, other direction, and down. So I'm going to do side, up, side, and down. Side, up, side, and down. Side, up, side, and down. Don't forget to have your knees slightly bent, pelvis tucked in. The movement is frontal to the, is very frontal, yeah. So it's square to the front. We don't want to add any twisting, torsions, whatever. For now. Later on, we can add a little bit. We can add more elements to the movement, but for learning the isolations, we're gonna keep it frontal, okay, as much as possible. So again, I'll start on this side. You can just mirror me, so you can do the same direction. Doesn't matter which direction you start with. And it doesn't matter which point you start with. You can start with a lift, you can start with a side, you can start with a drop. It doesn't really matter, it depends where you are in your choreography. So you can start with a lift, this direction, down. Yeah, so it's the same movement, but I started with a lift. For the purpose of the class and for learning, I'll start with a side. And I'll start some music and we can have a little fun with it. So vertical chest circles. I'm gonna start this way. Side, up, side, down. Side, up, side, down. And make it round, make it continuous. And keep the shoulders down. Keep everything else in place. And try to not twist or rotate. Now let's change direction. I'm gonna start on this side. Side, up, other side, and down. Side, up, side, down. Side, up, side, down. And continuous in a circle. Try to keep your shoulders in place. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can have your arms up on the head. So I'm gonna start this way first. I'm changing direction, other way. Side up, side down. All right. Okay, let's move on to the hips now. Now moving on to the hips. We cannot do a vertical circle with both hips together facing front. That will be really difficult. But we can do one hip circle. So for this movement, we're going to turn our side and we're going to do a circle with one hip at a time. The other one, of course, will move a little bit. It's going to react to the working hip, but the focus is on one hip in particular, and usually we want to turn that side to the audience so they can see what we're doing. Same idea, 4 points in space, up, down, back, front. And we're going to move our hips area to these 4 points and we're going to touch them. So make it as round as possible. Basic posture, yeah. I have a video with a basic posture so you can check it out. Knees are bent. This leg, the working leg, is in slight releve. Pelvis tucked in, shoulders open, chest up. The movement looks like this. It's like a bicycle. Some people call it a bicycle hip. And let's break it down. I'm going to start with the back, then up, then front, then down. Back, up, front, and down. Of course, it's not a perfect circle with the hips, but that's the idea. So back, up, front, down. Back, up, front, down. You can help yourself with a knee. So you straighten the knee here, bending the knee again, pushing back. Both knees are bent. To create more lift, you can straighten the other leg. Yeah. So to create more lift, I'm straightening both legs. But you don't have to. You can keep it at the same level if you want. It depends how you want to style it. But it can be in the same. I mean, the knees are pretty much at the same level, except the working one, which is straightening. You can add a little bit of like a scooping back. So these are elements of styling. So you can add a little bit more of a scoop back movement, more of a twisting front, down, and repeat. So the way you want to style it, you know, you have options, you have various options. But for just learning the basic isolations, just keep it simple. Just think of the 4 points in space. And later on you can add a little bit more elements. Yeah? So let's play some music. So with this hip, you can just mirror me. You don't have to try to turn around. Just stay on the same side. Well, you'll be on the different side. I'm on the left side, you'll be on the right side. So back, up, front, down. Back, up, front, down. So this is a vertical hip circle on one side. Let's try on the other hip. Same idea. You're gonna go back, up, front, down. The front movement is not very deep. It's hard. It's the anatomy that allows us to do only this much. You can have one arm up, one down in an L shape pose. All right. And now we'll try it from front to back. All right, dancers, now let's switch the direction of the vertical hip circle, and we start with the front and up and down and back and down. This is more awkward, more difficult, but luckily not used as much. It's not very typical for belly dancing, but it's gonna be used in the context of hip figure eight, which we'll go over later. Other side, so you start pushing forward, lift, push back, and drop. Front, up, back, and down. And make it round and continuous, the best you can. Okay? All right, so we went over both directions. So this is it for today. I'm gonna continue with the introduction to belly dance series. I'm gonna add more movements. So stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you so much for spending time with me. So don't forget to subscribe to my channels for more videos like this, and please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Until next time, shimmy shimmy!